Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to the third and final match here with Blue Black Pirates. We won the die roll. Yeah, let's play first. Let's see what our opener looks like here. Hey, it looks great to me, right? We got lands, we got spells, some of our best spells in our deck. Depending on what we see on the first turn of the game, will probably determine which one of these two drops that we decide to play. Opponents thinking deeply there, whether they want to keep their hand or not. With this hand, I imagine if we're up against a control deck of some sort, Kite Sail will be a great turn one play, but Glintsleeve is also a respectable play as well. Let's see, our opponent mulliganed and scryed to the bottom. So let's just go ahead and play tap land, get our mana set up. Now we have blue and black mana ready for turn 2. Rootbound Crag, huh? So, my guess is they have something here. Maybe a braid, maybe a tune with Aether. I just want to go ahead and disrupt them a little bit. Wow, our opponent kept such a greedy hand. I'm going to go ahead and take the Attune, obviously. And that might buy us enough time to kind of punish our opponent. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Temur energy. So getting in this early chip damage is going to be really important against Temur energy. Tax their mana, tax their removal spells. Hopefully they did not draw something like Magma Spray. Alright, looks like they drew their second land here. That's going to be really important for them. What? Oh, man. Sure. Alright. I'm going to keep making it uncomfortable for them to harness lightning my creature here. And I'm just going to go ahead and play Ruin Raider, draw some cards, get ahead of my opponent in that way. So our opponent played one of their harness lightnings. Alright. There goes in a braid. But now we're just in a really good spot, right? Yeah, we're way ahead. Let's go ahead and always yield to this. Black, or no, that's not how we want to do it. We want to go black mana, Glintsleeve Siphoner, Siren Storm Tamer. Now we can protect our threats, keep drawing cards. Vrask's Contempt is an absolute monster of a card, obviously. Our opponent goes Attune with Aether. Not much we can do to stop that. I imagine my opponent will go Longtusk Cub here. If they do, you know, we'll get really ahead here. A Braid just does not do much against us right now. And I imagine if they want to braid, they want to do it on... Ooh, okay. I think I want to kill that. But first, let's draw some cards. Fatal Push would have been great, but no Fatal Push, no worries. So, of course, Whirl of Virtuoso is a very scary card. Wow, Direfleet Poisoner, yeah. We're getting close to having the Warkite plus Ifnir Deadlands, you know, quote-unquote combo. Sure, Whirl of Virtuoso, definitely going to be annoying, but not far from the end of the world. My opponent wants to burn all their energy for that. I think I'm totally okay. Curious Obsession, huh? I think I'm going to wait on that. I don't think that's a play I want to make this turn. And I think I do want to attack with my Ruin Raider. And my Glint. I think I want to attack with everything but my Siren Storm Tamer. Because either way, my opponent's going to have to burn 6 energy plus 2 Thopters. Yep. I guess this Glint Sleeve gets kind of eaten up. Oh, actually it doesn't, right? Because we have Dire Fleet Storm Tamer. So if my opponent wants to go double block on the Glint Sleeve Siphoner, then they're still going to get kind of beaten up here. Go ahead and Poisoner here. Give our... Oh my god, that's not a pirate. What am I doing? Yep, so Dire Fleet Poisoner. Okay, punt number 1. That is... Wow. Wow. I feel really dumb there. That was quite a mistake. Quite a mistake. Alright, we're drawing a lot of cards here, but worried it won't be enough considering the plays that we just made, right? We didn't get rid of one of the Thopters, which would be really important. So that was definitely a punt. Punt against Temur Energy is really rough because yeah, that's fine. So does our opponent have double removal spell here? Long Tusk Cub, sure. So do we want to save this Dire Fleet Poisoner for combat tricks? I don't think so. I think we already have one for combat tricks. Let's just go ahead and run it out there. Lookout's Dispersal, a little late to the party, that's for sure. So if we go Curious Obsession on our Dire Fleet Poisoner, they go Thopter plus Long Tusk Cub. I think that's okay. Do we want to Ifnir? We can Ifnir post-combat. I kind of want to Curious Obsession the Warkite. That'll force some really awkward blocking. Let's go ahead and say Whirler Virtuoso loses all of its abilities and becomes... I mean, we could just say Thopter, right? And that way this block becomes really poor. But then again, they also have... Yeah, I think I'm just going to say... I'm just going to say one of the Thopters. If they want to go ahead and generate, use more of their energy here, what we can do is we can flash in Dire Fleet Poisoner. If they want to go double block on my Warkite Marauder. Sure. So this is a good sequence for us. My opponent wants to take 4 here. It puts him in a pretty rough spot. Interesting. Okay, so looks like they're just going to cash in Order of Blocks is okay. Let's go ahead and get another Dire Fleet Poisoner out there. One of the best cards from the new set. Just crazy good card. We could save our other Poisoner here. I think I'd rather save our Warkite Marauder. And what's nice is now we can just go ahead and play Island, keep up Lookout's Dispersal for anything crazy like a Glory Bringer, and we're in a really good spot from here on out. So we know nothing in our opponent's hand. Okay. Tune with Aether. Sure. Have we revealed Lookout's Dispersal? We have not. So our opponent does not know about Dispersal. Let's make sure. Bristling Hydra. Yeah, I'm just going to counter just about anything at this point. Alright, looks like we got there against Temur Energy. Kind of a close one though, right? Kind of a close one. So in this matchup, I don't like to bring in the Aetherborns. I think it's a little awkward because they have still so much cheap removal. I like bringing in Gonti. I like bringing in Ravenous Chupacabra. Some number of Duress is helpful, especially if they're on the Chandra plan. And some number of Negates is also okay. So like 3 Duress, 2 Negate can be okay. Not great though. I do like cutting Curious Obsession in this matchup. I think they just have so much cheap interaction for us that it never goes favorably. Kitesail Freebooter is also sketchy, but if we're bringing in Duress, it's kind of hard to cut it, because it's a creature plus a Duress effect. And it worked pretty well against our opponent last round. Fathom Fleet Captain, I think, is quite awkward against my opponent. Kind of want both Duresses in here somewhere. It's hard to make cuts because I think these are all good cards against my opponent. Maybe Lookout's Dispersal, but I don't think so. I think that card is just so good, especially because they have so many powerful 4 and 5 drops. Maybe we just cut one Kitesail Freebooter. Call it a day. We could also arguably cut the Ruin Rider if we want to take more of a controlling role. Yeah, I think that's fine, actually. So we're kind of trimming on our card draw effect, but we're moving more into this grindier game plan with Chupacabras and the like. Yeah, this hand is fine. We have, you know, Fatal Push for their 2-drop. Yeah, let's go ahead and lead on the pools here. Next turn, we'll have a nice play of push plus Siren Storm Tamer. Definitely want to get rid of Cub as early as possible. Drawing another Fatal Push makes me really happy to just push the Cub right now. Of course, obviously scared of Whirlor Virtuosos here. That card is absolutely nuts, but we have no game against Virtuoso on the draw like this, so if my opponent's going to take a turn off to attune here, I think I'm in a really good spot. If my opponent just plays a 2-drop and passes, I'm in an even better spot. But it looks like they're just going to blow up my creature here. If they don't have another land, then I think we could be in a really good spot. Alright, so they just had a tap land. Interesting, interesting. So I think I'm going to save that Duress for later. Instead, this turn I want to keep up Lookout's Dispersal for like Whirlor Virtuoso, as I mentioned before. Things of that nature. Swamp. So it looks like we're still up against 4-color energy here. This is fine. Again, I'd rather just Fatal Push this threat here. And now we can also get a beater down, which is also a pirate, which means our Lookout's Dispersal is going to be even cheaper. So let's go ahead and Duress our opponent, see if there's something to pick out of our opponent's hand. Chandra. Perfect. Perfect. So our opponent has still has Bristling Hydra and a Long Tusk Cub in their hand. 2 cards we are equipped to deal with given the current board state. Oh, no. Absolutely not. That is not a card I am equipped to deal with right now. Let's go ahead and buy ourselves some more time here. It would be nice if we had already like a card advantage engine going here, like Curious Obsession and things like that. But of course we cut Curious Obsession in this matchup, which I think is correct. You know, we're definitely more threat light post board. Yep, just want to keep making sure we're trading our spells for our opponent's spells. Land means that we have Vraska's Contempt online now. So we're still not out of the blue here, right? Temur Energy has premier threats in their deck, tons of powerful cards, you know, tons of cheap removal. Tune with Aether, that's probably one of the worst draws for them at this point. Yeah, so the old triple Lookouts Dispersal draw, I imagine might be quite tilting for my opponent, but Direfleet Poisoner is a great draw. I think I'm just going to go ahead and end step it, though. Keep up Vraska's Contempt for anything weird. Like, if my opponent plays a Whirler Virtuoso, I think I want to kill it with the trigger on the stack. With the Enter the Battlefield trigger. 6 mana here. Vraska Relic Seeker. Oof. Sure. Do they just want to kill it? Yeah. Makes sense. Question is, do we want to get down Direfleet Poisoner and then kill Vraska, or do we want to kill Vraska and then play the Direfleet Poisoner? I think I just want to use up my mana efficiently here. Yeah, I'm losing 2 points of damage, but this works out now, right? If I draw 2-drop. Definitely not in the clear, but again, if we draw a land, we have the whole Ifnir plus Warkite Marauder wombo combo. And Vraska was one of the best draws our opponent could have from this spot. Sure. Let's just go ahead and play the Poisoner now. Save ourselves some time. Freebooter, not great in this point in the game, but yep, looks like our opponent's creature is an 0-1 at this point. I'm just going to slam down another flying threat. I don't think my opponent's playing around anything at this point. I think we just want to go wide. Yeah, definitely not blocking here. I mean, it's a good draw, right? I'm going to go ahead and attack first, obviously. Turn my opponent's creature into an 0-1. Play another evasive threat. Make my life really difficult for my opponent. They play a land. What card get them out of here? Not much, right? Glorybringer, attack, just kills one of our threats. But it would let them live? No. So we still have lethal even if they have Glorybringer. If they choose to leave Glorybringer back to block, we still have lethal. So I think Whirler Virtuoso is their only out at this point. And Whirler Virtuoso would be insane here, I think. It would definitely keep them in the running. Sometimes Pirates just come crashing out of the gates, right? So we beat 4-color energy twice now. And it was 2 flavors of 4-color energy, but wow, bam, that's down. So we beat a brew in the first round against Blue-Green Merfolk, but then we beat arguably one of the best decks in the format right now, and that's 4-color energy. Anyways, thanks so much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the closing comments here with Blue-Black Pirates. I'll see you guys soon. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the closing comments, and let's talk Standard, let's talk Pirates. So we just had 3 matches, in competitive single queue lobbies. And what did we face? We played against Blue-Green Merfolk, which is an up-and-coming deck. I wouldn't say it's quite there yet, but it definitely has some promise, similar to our deck. And then we also played against 2 different flavors of 4-color energy, right? So the first 4-color energy variant, it was more of like Grixis Splash Green, or maybe they had some awkward draws, but it was definitely more like Grixis, than the regular 4-color energy, Temur energy that plays like Scarab God, right? So we beat that actually, and you know, a lot of our cards worked overtime there. And then we also played against, you know, 4-color energy, just the Temur Splash Black for, you know, Scarab God and Vraska. Two, you know, that I would say is the tier 1 deck, you know, of the format. You know, there's a lot of argument whether straight Temur is better, whether 4-color Temur, you know, is the better deck. Either way, that's the top deck in the format, and we were able to, you know, kind of wipe the floor with them, right? It almost was, you know, there were draws that, you know, we could each have, but in top deck mode, when our opponent had, you know, enough mana to play anything they want, they top decked Vraska, one of their best cards, and it was still not good enough, right? So ultimately, our deck performed fan-freaking-tastically. I'm so happy with how Blue-Black Pirates performed. So let's talk about some of the key cards here that overperformed for me. So Glintsleeve Siphoner, even though not a pirate, I think is one of the really key cards to be playing in this deck, right? We're Blue-Black Pirates, but we also have a, you know, kind of mid-range, blue-black mid-range theme, you know, going on when we don't have the pirate synergies, right? So Glintsleeve Siphoner with Aether Hub, just a fantastic card, just keeps the cards flowing, and that's what we needed in a tempo deck, right? We have removal, we have cheap threats, but we kind of just need that steam to keep going, and that's what Glintsleeve Siphoner does, and it does all of that starting from turn 2 while being an evasive threat. Kitesail Freebooter, again, evasive threat, disrupts your opponent. You saw in game 1 against Temur, we were able to snipe their Attune with Aether on the play while they had a tap land start, and that slowed them down so much. Of course, that's a corner case, but this card is fantastic. Kitesail Freebooter, you know, it's all of its keywords are very relevant. Flying, it's a pirate, it's fantastic. Direfleet Poisoner, this card way overperformed. Flash, Death Touch, target attacking power you control gets +1/+1. We kind of punted a little bit, but even so, just it wasn't that much of a punt because the card is so powerful, you know. So I think this card is going to be a 4-of staple in any pirate build people play moving forward. And Warkite Marauder, while, you know, we didn't get to see it that often, actually did a lot of good work there. Made blocking really uncomfortable when our opponent was sitting with one card to block with. And we do a good job at keeping our opponent with 1 card to block with, right? With Fatal Push, with Lookout's Dispersal. And Lookout's Dispersal, another card that way overperformed as well, right? It lets you answer cards that a blue-black mid-range deck would never be able to answer, right? It's our mana leak. You know, it's our mana leak of the format, and that's so important. It kind of holds the deck together, makes so many more draws keepable, playable, and allows you to attack the metagame, you know, because you have just catch-all counterspell. And no other deck really has that at this, you know, mana cost, and that's really fantastic. Ruin Raider was great. I often cited out 1 in the more like on the draw when we were maybe playing a bit more of a control-y role. Than maybe like the more aggressive role. But it's definitely a great card. I would not play the 4th. I originally had the 4th, but I didn't like it. Our 4-drop slot is perfect. 5-drop slot is perfect. I would not tamper with this. I would say Fathom Fleet Captain is the only card that kind of was unimpressive. It's expensive, right? It's the mana cost is expensive. I wonder if it's just better off to have 4 Warkite Marauders. You know, it's something worth playing around with. It's definitely a great card to sink some mana into. It comes up every now and again, but it's usually only coming up when you're already winning. So that's why I really like Warkite Marauder over Fathom Fleet Captain. And then Siren Storm Tamer, 2-of seemed like the perfect number. 2 Curious Obsession seemed like the perfect number. We don't want to play too many of these because it doesn't always fit our curve, doesn't always fit the matchup. But it can definitely be a great card that just runs away with the game if left unchecked with all of our evasive threats, right? Oh boy, mana base. You know, it can be a little rough every now and again. Maybe I want to cut an island for another swamp, but overall, I think this is as best as blue-black mana bases can get to right now. And the sideboard, you know, 4 Negate, 4 Duress, just perfect. Aether Sphere Harvester did a lot of work in the Merfolk matchup, and I imagine it'll do great work in the mono-red matchup as well. Ravenous Chupacabra, such a cool card. I think it's really cool in the creature mirrors. Maybe even deserves a second copy in the sideboard. Maybe over, say, a Duress or a Gonti. But even Gonti, as you saw against, you know, 4-color energy, Gonti just was out of control, right? You know, stealing Essence Scatters on Torrential Gearhulk, stealing Scarab Gods stealing more Gaunties, you know. So Gaunty seems to be a pretty good staple. It blocked really well against Merfolk, if I remember correctly. You know, it's such a fantastic card, and I'm 100% happy with how this deck played out. I think it's you know, a deck that's growing, it's evolving, and I think people should really consider this deck as a threat in the format, something that's playable. But I wouldn't say that this is the ideal build, but I think if you cut this Fathom Fleet Captain and add maybe more Warkite Marauders or some other premier threat, you actually have, you know, close to an optimal build on your hands here. Anyways, that's a wrap. Thank you all so much for sticking around for the closing comments. I really enjoyed playing this deck because I really poured my heart out into building this deck list. You know, the previous Blue Black Pirates build was a feature that I played. I had my me and a couple friends ran it through a league, and then they went 4-1 or something. And PVD Paulo Vito Damodarosa, he's a very you know, professional, pro, famous player, and he wrote an article that featured the deck list, and that really made me feel like, okay, maybe I'm on the right track with something here, and this is just me keeping that going, keeping that train going. I think Rivals gives a lot of life into this Blue Black Pirates deck, and I hope you guys give it a try for yourself. And as of course in the comments, let me know what you think about it. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. See you soon.